Welcome to Yara Rose Healing with Katie. I am so excited to see you all here again today. I want to share a very personal experience with you, and I'm not sure why they thought that you would want to hear this about me and my experience, but I think that typically the reason Spirit wants us to share our stories and our personal experiences is because it will help empower other people, and it will help them to understand that they're not alone, and that maybe they're looking for that little bit of hope that this can happen to them too. And by seeing that it does happen to other people, it helps bridge that gap between this is impossible and hey, maybe it is possible. So I did a podcast episode, which is also on my YouTube channel, about embracing Ella. And that episode was about how our family went from a family of 4 people and 1 dog to 2 dogs, and how we weren't really planning on it, but Spirit had sent us so many messages and had worked on us so much that we were like, okay, yep, we will add a dog to our family. And it was about this particular dog, and embracing her and allowing her in her life, and how she changed our lives so much more than we ever would have expected. And the reason I'm bringing it up is because Ella is an extraordinary dog, and she's very special to me. She's near and dear to my heart because she's actually a reincarnate soul from one of my previous dogs that I had when I was growing up. And I want to give you some background story because I know it may sound hard to believe, and that's okay. You don't have to believe in reincarnation. But one of the very first things that Spirit communicated to me when I was able to hear them in my head was that dogs do reincarnate, and that souls do reincarnate. And that was literally the very first conversation that we had telepathically. So I feel like for whatever reason, it's very important to them to communicate that through me to you, because it was so important. It was our very first conversation. So bridging the gap, I learned, and I talked about this in the episode, my YouTube video called Seeing Animals Differently, I believe is the title, about this beautiful soul named Roxy, and how she taught me about reincarnation as well, and taught me that she was a reincarnated soul from a different one that we had had. So I knew based on my conversation with Spirit, and I knew based on my conversation with Roxy, that it had happened to us before, and that it was possible that it could happen to us. And as I went through my healing journey that we've talked about so many times through my podcast and through my message boards and just through everything, I learned and reflected a lot on my life. And I learned about areas where I felt like maybe I hadn't measured up to what I would have wanted to. And one of those areas that bothered me was the ending of my old dog Bootsy's life. And it was one of those things where I don't remember what age I was, but I feel like towards the end of her life, I disengaged. I closed my heart off a little bit because I was scared of losing her, and I didn't want to feel the pain of losing her and how unbelievably terrible that was going to feel. So I started closing off before she even physically left this world. And once I started doing all these healings, through emotion code and Reiki and the intuition readings that I was doing, and everything that, meditations and all that stuff, I felt like I really wanted to heal the karma that ending created between me and Bootsy's soul. So in 2019, I did a meditation where I asked Bootsy and her soul if she ever felt it would be possible for us to reconvene down on this earth, so that way I would have an opportunity to show up for her in a better way. And it was funny because I didn't get an answer, which is fine. Spirit doesn't always give you an answer right then, but I remember shortly, a couple days afterwards, I woke up knowing, like, she had visited me in my dream and said yes, she would come back down. And Spirit said, don't worry about the details, don't worry about when, but just know that she will come back down to you, and we will make sure that you get her when she does. So if you remember my episode, Embracing Ella, You will remember that we were not looking for a dog. We didn't really want a dog, but then we kept getting these signs from our other dog, and she kept telling us that she was lonely and she wanted a companion. And Spirit kept telling me that they were sending me a dog, and there was a specific dog that they were sending me. And then that whole story, well, I'll just recap it really quick in case you haven't watched that episode. We had looked for a dog, we were looking for a dog, and I kept trying to find one, and I wasn't finding the one that they said they were going to send me. And then the day I thought about getting a different dog, because I was like, I don't know where this white dog is that they're telling me that they've got for me, and that it's already here, and that it's available. Can't find it. And then I called on a different one that we were able to go look at on the following Friday, and I was like, oh, I still wasn't feeling right about it when I got off the phone. So I prayed to Spirit, and I said, please, Spirit, if you truly have this white dog that you've been talking about, can you please reveal her to me, so that way we can make this connection. And then I refreshed my browser for some of the pet classifieds that I had been looking at, and there she was. She popped right up. And I knew the moment I saw her that she was the dog Spirit had been sending us. But at this point, I didn't realize that Ella was Bootsy's soul coming back down. And I didn't realize that, you guys, for like 2 years. Because I think I had a block around it. Because my son had suggested that maybe it would have been a reincarnated soul, because we had that conversation. And I was like, nope, there's no way. And I was just like, I didn't even want to go there. Like, I couldn't, for whatever reason, go there. And then, we just loved Ella. She instantaneously fit in with our family, and she just fell right in from the day we brought her home. And I couldn't explain it, and I didn't even want to try. And then fast forward 2 years later, I was going through a very, very difficult time. Very difficult. It was a very tough time for me. And my siblings kept sending me pictures of dogs that looked like Bootsy, and I was like, oh man, I really miss Bootsy, I really miss her. And it was kind of funny how it all worked out, because then I kept getting like this inkling, like maybe Ella's Bootsy, and I was like, no, she's not Bootsy. I would have known if she was Bootsy. And then I'd get another picture or something else that would remind me of Bootsy. And then I finally had a meditation one night where I was like, well, hang on. I'm skipping ahead of myself. So my sister and I had been talking about what Bootsy meant to me, what qualities I was missing so much. And I started naming off the things, like how she was just, of all my dogs, she just had this super calm, loving, chill, accepting vibe. And it didn't matter where I was at in life, what I was doing, she would just love me, and she would always have that calm, amazing presence that would, I can't explain it, but she just had this way about her. And then I named off a couple more, and then I was like, it's kind of weird, because now that I'm naming off some of the qualities that I'm really missing, I'm realizing that Ella has those same things about her. She does the same things, it's just different. And I realized I was looking at these pictures of Bootsy and putting that soul on them, but I needed to be conscientious of the fact that just because the physical package may not be the same, it doesn't mean that the actual presence inside of the package isn't. It doesn't mean that it isn't the same. So I'm like, wow, I wonder if Ella could actually be Bootsy, and that her soul is trying to tell me, hey, Katie, while you're sitting here moaning and groaning about how you miss me and how you wish I was here and how you would just love to have me here to help you through those times, would you look over here? I'm right here, So I sat down and did a meditation, and I called myself and got disconnected, because if you have an attachment, you can't find an answer. And I did find out, and I did get it validated, that it was her, and it had been her. And that's why, you guys, it was so special, and it was so important that I got that white dog that Spirit had been sending me, because here it was, my Bootsy, the dog that I wanted so incredibly bad so I could honor her better, so I could treat her with the dignity, love, and respect that she deserved. And here she was, right under my nose. But because I was perceiving her still as what she looked like the last time, I was having a hard time seeing her for who she was now. Slash Bootsy has been telling me this last week or two that she wants her story, her entire story shared. And I don't know why that is. I don't know why she thinks you guys want to know, but I do know that it's out of my hands. I'm giving it to Spirit. For whatever reason, they want you to know that it is possible for your loved ones, whatever animal shape they came in, they can come in a different one. You know, we've had horses that have come back as dogs and horses and whatever it is, they can come back to you. And animal lives are so much shorter in most, I should say, because I think turtles can live really long, but most animal lives are very short compared to the human life. So it's possible that the exact same soul that was with you before can come back with you again if there are lessons that you still need to go and learn and grow on together. Or if in my case, you know, maybe one of the souls felt like they didn't karmically show up in the correct way or the right way with each other, they can agree to come back. It's their prerogative. They do not have to if they don't feel that there's any benefit in doing so for either one, or if they feel like it will hinder one of you by not letting you grow and move on. You know, there are those circumstances to keep in mind. But I do want you to know that it is possible. And I do want you to know that even if they don't come back in a physical form, it doesn't mean that they're gone. It just means that you have to learn how to grow and communicate with them in a different way, because they're still always going to be around. That connection that you have with them while you guys are both here, it doesn't just disappear because their physical body is gone. They still have that presence in your life, and I promise you they're still watching out for you, and they're still sending you love in whatever way that they can, because they love you, and that love does not die with the physical death of the body. Love is eternal. It never dies. Energy never dies. I really hope that this story helps you on your journey, either in expanding your mind or just knowing that you're never alone. Go ahead. And I got my angel numbers here. Your spiritual guides and family can send you signs, and validation that something in this message is for you if you don't feel the resonance already. 0330. It's about love, peace, hope, and optimism, and transferring responsibility to others. Progress and creativity are the main words. And it says, pursue your goals and get what you want. It will provide wonderful benefits for you and the people you hold dear. Your ability to communicate is improving at this time, which will make it easier for you to interact with a broad spectrum of individuals. So if you see a 0330, I would say from Spirit, they're sending their love, their peace, their hope, and their optimism, and that they want you to pay extra attention to something that struck you in this message today about Ella and her reincarnating for me. I always like to end, if you haven't watched any of these, I always like to end with the How to Love Yourself card by Louise Hay, because I think these affirmation cards are so important just to help you on your journey. So keep going. Okay. I received, I got 2 of them. Interesting. I'm going to keep them both. It says, I receive life's gifts with joy and pleasure and gratitude. I open myself to all good. Without my past mistakes and all, I would not be here today. I love myself for my willingness to learn and grow. My past is part of the richness and fullness of life. How funny is that? I feel like both of these fit so amazingly with this lesson about learning and growing from your past, and about receiving gifts and opening yourself up to the possibilities that are out there, like reincarnated souls. I really hope this episode about Ella /Bootsy was helpful and inspirational to you, and I hope that you have a beautiful, wonderful day, and it at least provided you with an insight into the potential that is available in the universe. I love you all. Thank you so much for watching.